Hey, hello, my fellow property managers. Marc Cunningham at Grace Property Management. I received a call last week, and it's not unlike a call that I get pretty often, and it sounds something like this. Marc, I do residential property management. I'm really good at it, and I had a current owner call me who's buying a little tiny commercial property, and they want to know if I will help them manage and rent out this property. That's commercial. I've never done commercial. I'm thinking of maybe just adding a little bit of commercial to my portfolio, but I don't know what I don't know about commercial. And then the first question comes up this way. What in the world should I charge to manage a commercial property? Now, when I say commercial, we're not talking about downtown skyscrapers, high-rise office buildings. We're talking about the little industrial center, the little strip center, maybe the little office condo, the simple commercial that you're considering adding to your portfolio when a current or a new prospective owner client calls and it's too small for them to go to the big commercial companies that way. So we've done commercial for 45 years. Let me just offer a few thoughts and observations around this, how to price it, and kind of the pros and cons, differences of commercial versus residential. So when it comes to residential property management, you know as a property manager that it's pretty cut and dry. There's a lot of changes that happen. I mean, it's a hard game. But the rules are established and they are set. You follow fair housing. You have a standard lease agreement. You have standard lease terms and rental rates, and you have fair housing that you follow, and your state has rules. And it's pretty follow the rules of the board as it relates to residential. That is not the case in commercial. I would describe commercial as the wild, wild west of property management because almost anything goes. Most of the rules that you have to follow in residential get thrown out the window when it comes to commercial. You can write anything you want into your lease agreement. There are no standard lease agreements in the commercial world because what most states and legislatures figure is, hey, in the commercial world, you're talking company to company, B2B, business to business. So we're not going to come in. We don't need to protect the consumer like we do in the residential world because these are business people, and if they just get taken advantage of either way, well, that's their own tough luck. So there's a lot less regulations. Now, that's kind of nice on some levels, but on other levels, it makes it more complicated and difficult because there is no clear path to follow. You can negotiate just about anything you want to negotiate in the commercial world. So you have to understand that everything's open for negotiation, everything's open for discussion, and people play aggressively in the commercial space, much more so than the residential space. You're dealing with bigger clients, bigger dollar amounts, bigger leases. Everything gets bigger and blown up more out of proportion than the residential. Now, that's not a pro or a con, but it's just something to be aware of on the differences. Now, when it comes to deciding how much to charge, you know your management fee in a residential property, cut and dry. But now here comes this weird commercial property. And maybe let's pretend it's a 4-unit little industrial building, and it's got 4 1,000 square foot units and with a little office and a little warehouse space. And what are you going to charge to manage this property? Well, here's what we recommend. What you do in commercial every single time, no matter if it's the 4-unit or the multi-high-rise, is you back into your management fee percentage. Here's what I mean by that. Rather than saying, oh, we charge 4%, 5%, 6%, 10%, whatever. You do not have a set percentage management fee you charge on commercial. Here's what you do. You look at the property. Okay, 4 units, little office, we've got to take care of some groundwork. That's the first thing you do. The second thing is you decide how many dollars, not percentage, how many dollars minimum it would require of the owner for you to take that property on. What's your minimum requirement? So we're going to look at that property and say, you know what? I need to make at least $500 a month to manage this property. I won't make less than $500. Okay. Second, the next question you ask is, what is the current rents? And they say, you know what? The current rents on this 4-unit property are $5,000 a month. Oh, okay. So my minimum, I've already decided, regardless of the rents, just by looking at the property, the size, the work it's going to take me, I've decided I need $500 a month minimum. I look at the property and say, oh, it's generating $5,000 a month in income. Well, I need to get $500 per month. So what is the percentage to get my $5,000 to my $500? Oh, it just happens to be 10%. So then the management fee you would quote would be 10%. Now, I'm not saying it's 10%, but I'm saying that's how you back into it. If you look at that property and you say, gosh, I'm going to need $600 a month to manage this, and the property total rents are $10,000 a month, not 5,000, 10, well, now your management fee may be 5% or 6%. So the percentage is less relevant than the dollar amount you're demanding to receive for the management of that building. Hopefully that makes sense. So you want to back into the percentage. Now, secondarily, as it relates to the management fee, is this. Commercial can have very extended vacancy times. So you know on your residential property, your average vacancy downtime, don't you? Maybe it's 30 days, let's say. When a tenant moves out, we are going to have that thing prepped and re-rented within 30 days. You just know that as a science. That's not the case in residential. In commercial. Commercial properties may sit vacant for weeks and weeks and months and months. It's not uncommon depending on the type of property it is. So if you've got a 4-unit industrial park and 2 of those units move out, you may be sitting with a 50% vacant building for the next 6 months. Well, if you had decided, gosh, I'm gonna quote 10% management because the $5,000 a month rent will give me my $500. That's all fine and dandy. And then 2 tenants move out, and now the income went from $5,000 to $2,500, and you're still making 10%, but now you're only making $250, and that just is not what your plans were because you didn't anticipate extended vacancy. Therefore, our solution is this. In addition to the management fee of X%, you're also going to have a minimum management fee. So let's go back to our scenario where you wanted $500, rented for $5,000 a month, you quoted 10%, but then you also would write this into your contract. Management fee shall be 10% of gross income, or let me back up. Back up. The management fee shall be the greater of 10% of the management fee per month, I'm butchering this. The management fee shall be the greater of 10% of the income per month, or $500. So you're going to set your threshold, or maybe say $400, whatever it is. Set a minimum threshold. And what you say, well, why am I doing that? Because if everybody moves out, or a lot of them move out, you don't want to manage for free. And managing a vacant property is almost more work than managing an occupied property. So we want to build into our management fee structure a minimum management fee. It's going to be the greater of X% or X dollars based upon the determination you make. And hopefully that makes sense. Now, before I talk about leasing fees for just a moment, I want to thank the sponsor for this month's video, PestShare. Are you familiar with PestShare? It's a pretty cool company. You've seen them around. They're all over the place in the property management industry. What they do is they offer pest control services to your tenants, so you can kind of have it within your resident benefit package. You can add on pest control. So, hey, Mr. Tenant, you got a pest control issue? No problem. Here's who you contact. They take care of it for you. We got it. There's a fee structure typically in place with that, so you profit as the property management company. If this is interesting to you, reach out. I know these guys. These are good guys. Reach out to the folks at PestShare. Ask them for an explanation on how they work. Plus, it's just a fun company name, isn't it? PestShare. So reach out to the folks there. Tell them Marc sent you. They'll give you the demo of what they offer, how they can help you. It's not just helping your tenants. It's helping you as a property management company. Okay. Last thing is it relates to leasing fees. You say, okay, I understand the management fees. What do I charge as a leasing fee? Now remember, this is the wild, wild west. Commercial is the wild, wild west. You can charge whatever you want, structured in any way you want. But one way that commercial is very oftentimes different than residential when it comes to leasing fees is this. Leasing fees are often, not always, but are often paid on the term of the lease and include a co-op percentage. So Marc, what in the world does that mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. What that means is, if it's a 5-year lease, okay, you sign a 5-year lease with a tenant, because commercial are often term leases, and it's $1,000 a month. The leasing fee you charge to them is based upon the full 5 years of rent that owner's going to receive. You don't just take, I'm just making up percentages here. Let's say you had to charge a 5% leasing fee. It's 5% of what? 5% of the term lease. 5% of 5 years of income. That's why commercial leasing fees can be pretty aggressive, pretty high. That's why it's such a wild world of people really being aggressive on this stuff, because they don't want to give up these big dollar amounts in the commercial one. Now, it's not always this way. Again, you can do whatever you want to do, but it's not uncommon to see this. Now, if the lease is too far extended, oftentimes they'll take it annually. But the other part is this. In the commercial world, you will often have to pay a co-op, meaning a split, when the tenant comes to you who wants to rent it and they already have an agent. Now, if you're doing really small commercial, that may not be the case. But once you get into a little bigger commercial spaces, it's not uncommon for an agent, a real estate agent, to contact you who is representing that prospective tenant, and they expect to be compensated for the representation of that tenant. So you may have to give up half your leasing fee. So you want to build that into your process and build that into your agreement with your owner client that, hey, If the incoming tenant has an agent and we have to pay a fee to them, then my fee to you is going to be X plus, because I've got to pay out of my pocket on that. So there's all sorts of different aspects. This is not meant to tell you how to manage commercial property, just to dip your toe in the water a little bit as it relates to this. You want more information? Jump on our website, pmbuild.com. You will find basically everything you know on how to build, grow, and protect your property management company, systems, coaching, forms, packages. You can even sign up to come visit me and my team and spend 2 days with us at our Denver office. Go to our events tab, the Visit Grace event. We'd love to have you come out and visit us for that. I will see you in 2 weeks, my friends. I wish you success.